be shy. Oh, she's just a little shy. Somebody's feeling a little shy. Hearing these things as a kid is one thing, but hearing them as an adult, it feels limiting, uncomfortable, and even a little embarrassing. It feels like being trapped in your own skin and a struggle to connect with others even when you want to so badly. But we don't really take shyness all that seriously, do we? Sure, shyness seems a little awkward, and not everyone understands why somebody would feel shy in a somewhat normal situation. And most people grow out of it, right? Some people do, but for many of us, it can create a lot of struggle in our adulthood. I'm Jordan Thompson, and today I'm gonna be diving all into why shyness is actually not a personality trait, and if it's something that you struggle with, you can absolutely overcome it, just like I did. Shyness can actually render some of the same characteristics of those who experience general anxiety disorder. People experience varying degrees of shyness, from occasional levels of discomfort around people in new scenarios to painful feelings of constant stress and habitual patterns of avoidance. Shyness can get in the way of having a normal social life. Shyness can be a communication barrier in relationships. Shyness can scare you away from asking for help, and shyness can stop you from knowing your worth in the workplace. I know all of this because I have personally experienced all of these things. But what if I told you that being shy is not a personality trait, and we all have the ability to create a different way of being? So where does being shy actually come from? The root of shyness comes from a number of different factors, and it can show up in both childhood and adulthood. Modeled behavior at home can create a timid, anxious young mind, and significant emotional events that range from an offhand comment that somebody made to you in the 6th grade to an actual traumatic life event like losing a loved one, can have substantial impact on someone and how they perceive the world around them. And of course, general societal conditioning can influence the way that someone feels about themselves and the way that they think they ought to be. Simply put, shyness is a learned behavior. And the beautiful thing about this is it can be unlearned. You might ask yourself, is being shy the same thing as being an introvert? We commonly lump introverts and people who are shy into the same category, but they actually have nothing to do with each other. Introvert and extrovert are personality traits and really categorize somebody's preference to be social or alone. Extroverts prefer to be around other people more than they prefer to be alone. And introverts prefer more alone time than they do socializing with other people. And they tend to feel energized by spurts of solitude. It's not to say that introverts don't enjoy being around people, but it can often drain them. So being alone tends to be that recharging of the battery. So there's really nothing about being an introvert or an extrovert that determines how confident you are. You can be the quietest person in the room, somebody who doesn't necessarily feel the need to speak up, and be completely at peace with yourself and feel confident and capable in all of your abilities. On the flip side, you can be the loudest, most outgoing person in the room and still lack self-confidence. We often confuse arrogance that some extroverts have as confidence, and quietness that some introverts have as shyness. So introvert or extrovert, shyness is present when we feel like we can't let all facets of ourselves show. Shyness isn't the problem, it's the symptom. There's generally an underlying reason for what triggers shyness, and you can begin to uncover that problem by exploring this question. What is the thing that I'm trying to avoid right now? Our brains are constantly trying to protect us from the unknown and things that frighten us. So we often act and think illogically to help us avoid feeling that very fear. This creates avoidance patterns within us that enhances shyness and create this internal operating system. By creating awareness around why you might feel shy and the things that you fear, you can then take some steps to resolve it. One of those ways is simply changing up your posture. I talked about this in a previous video on how to create more confidence, and this is the same exact thing. By simply standing up tall, raising your chest, rolling your shoulders back, and raising your chin, you can boost your feelings of self-confidence. Research shows that people are more likely to believe traits about themselves when they had good posture versus bad posture. Plus, how can you see all the beautiful opportunities ahead of you when you're looking down? Another way to combat shyness is preparation. You want to feel more confident at speaking, socializing, or simply just being around other people. Prepare. The more that you can practice your ability to speak your mind, use your voice, and take chances, the easier it becomes. Using a journal to write things down is a very powerful practice. Whether it be a presentation you give at work or a social event that you're stepping into, write down your about me, what you do for a living, talking points, or anything else you want to be able to effectively communicate. Then practice it. The only way people get good at skills is because they do them over and over and over. It's just like an athlete. Practice, practice, practice. Having a dress rehearsal in your car during your morning commute is the best place to practice speaking, in my opinion. You're alone, nobody is watching you, and you can even record yourself if you need to. Try it out. Another way to unlearn shyness is to envision it. As humans, we are incredibly talented storytellers and have wonderful imaginations. We also tend to use that to our disadvantage by playing out all the scenarios of how something could go wrong. But what if it could all go right? Use your powerful mind to envision how you want things to go. How do you want to present yourself? How do you want to feel? How do you want others to feel after they interact with you? Do this and watch what unfolds for you. If you want to break the shyness cycle, you gotta take some action. Ooh, this is gonna ruffle some feathers. Some of you are gonna be kind of uncomfortable with the idea of taking action. When we fear a situation, we then avoid it. Then by avoiding it, we increase our level of anxiety. That anxiety then produces more fear-based thoughts and feelings, and then the cycle is just repeated again. It is done quickest by acting instead of avoiding. One of the best ways to overcome the feelings of shyness or fear or anxiety is to do the thing that you're actually fearing. Rip off the Band-Aid. You will be amazed at how free you feel afterwards, and you will probably even think, why did I wait so long to do that? The next one is I want you to replace I'm sorry with thank you. I also talked about this in my Building More Confidence video, and there's a big reason for that. If you find yourself saying I'm sorry a lot in like work emails or just in general, this means that you're operating from a place of inferiority or as if you are in the wrong somehow. By shifting your language to thank you instead, you can still show appreciation in a learning experience while not making yourself out to be someone who's always mistaken. Because if you're giving off that energy as if you are always making a mistake or you're always in the wrong, that type of energy is very clear to pick up on from other people, simply as just not being confident in yourself. There are a lot of other ways that you can start to shift yourself out of shyness into a more confident state, and I highly suggest you watch the video I have on creating more confidence, but I want to leave you with at least one more today, and that is ask more questions. We often think that asking questions makes us look dumb, but in fact, it shows genuine interest. The next time that you're in a room with somebody who is socially comfortable or a good conversationalist, pay attention to the quantity and the quality of the questions that they're asking. It's quite easy to steer a conversation and socialize when you have questions in your back pocket. So go into social situations with the intent to get to know one or two people and ask them questions that you genuinely like to know the answers to. No small talk here. You can change your environment, you can change your behaviors, but the real transformation happens when you stop identifying with being somebody who is shy or not confident. So starting today, you're no longer somebody who calls yourself those things. You no longer need to use that language to identify and describe who you are. The more that you affirm your belief that you are shy or not confident, the stronger that belief is going to become. So let's stop doing that. You get to create who you want to be. Who do you want to be? There will always be moments when you revert back to this because it's a previous identity of yours. And because life will always present you with the unknown. But keep pushing, keep moving forward, keep choosing your identity and keep making uncomfortable decisions, because that's where growth truly happens. Thank you so much for joining me in this video today, especially if you've made it all the way here to the end. If this was your jam, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.